everybody, it's your boy Moski, back with another video. Today's video is a movie review video on Spider-Man No Way Home. And just to let you guys know, this is going to be a non-spoiler and a spoiler review video. So I will let you know and give you a warning and give you 10 seconds to click off the video when I say I'm about to get to spoilers. But right now this is going to be a non-spoiler review, so you guys are safe. So you guys are good. I'll give you guys, like I said before, I'll give you guys a 10 seconds before I say spoiler review. So here we go. What I think about this film, in my opinion, this is the best Spider-Man movie I ever seen in my life. It was like a roller coaster ride, not as a bad thing. When I say roller coaster ride, when I was going up and down, I did not want the ride to stop. That's how much fun I was having in this film. And it was like high stakes on the line. The action was good. The CGI was amazing as usual. Storyline was good. The plot, the character developments, and like good chemistry with multiple characters that I can't say. But yeah, I had an amazing time. Even especially in my theater, the crowd was in it and I was fully in it. It just felt amazing. You know, every time you go to a Marvel film, especially when it's like a popular character like Spider-Man, you're always gonna have those like concert feeling, like, you know, woo! It's like everyone cheering, and then it was just a good time. I had an actual good time. I'll say this is my favorite film of this year, and especially of MCU. Yeah, all time. What else can I say before I get into spoilers? Because I wish I could say more right now, but I can't. So I'm gonna keep this short as a non-spoiler review. I'm gonna keep this short, then I'm gonna get to spoilers. So what I think fully of this film, if you're not even a Spider-Man fan, and if you like never pay attention to superhero movies, I guarantee, even if you haven't watched it, I know as soon as you watch this film, you're gonna have a different perspective like on superhero films. You're like, whoa, okay, this is what they're doing in superhero movies. Because there's gonna be some times you're like, wow, that's crazy. So I just, like I said before, if you're not a fan of Spider-Man, this will actually make you more of a fan of Spider-Man. And this was more of a nostalgia, because obviously, this is not a spoiler right here, because obviously you've seen the trailer, because you've seen Doc Ock and Green Goblin and Electro. They did an amazing job. Especially, I love their costumes. Their costumes look really good. It's like an updated version, because it was back then. I wouldn't say Doc Ock, but I mean Green Goblin. His was a little bit cheesy. But this one, they made it look good, because they made it look more realistic, I'll say. And plus, Willem Dafoe killed it as his character. I say, obviously, he's my all-time favorite villain, because he's just so devious and evil. You know, there's no freaking help for that man. You know, and plus, you can never trust Norman Osborn. You can't. It's impossible. It's like you can't reason with him. There's always gonna be hatred and freaking just evil. That's what I like about that character, though, because you don't want a villain where he just turns into a good guy. You want him to be straight evil and have a good fight with Spider-Man. So there's nothing much I can say. All I can say is watch this film. You're gonna love it. I guarantee you're gonna have so much excitement and fun, and you probably might want to go see it again, because not gonna lie, I kind of do. I might want to go see this again. That's how much fun I have in this film. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say right now. I'm gonna get into spoiler review. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to click off this video. Thank you for coming and clicking this video. It means a lot to me. So right now, I'm about to get into spoiler review. So thank you so much. Alright, now we're back. So this is going to be a spoiler review video of Spider-Man No Way Home. So this, oh my gosh, where do I even begin? Okay, so obviously this takes place after when Spider-Man got outed out by Mysterio of him being Spider-Man. So when that happened, he had to get a lawyer, because the cops are after Spider-Man. So now he got a lawyer, and the first guest appearance, and it was a big one, was Daredevil. I was like, okay, it was Daredevil, but he wasn't dressed up as Daredevil. It was, freaking just him in a suit. And it was just called, it was cold. Matt Murdock, because they call him Matt. I think they call him Matt Murdock in the film. I think, or it's either Matt. But you know who it is when they call him Matt. So, and plus, when you seen the cane, that's just a glimpse of like, oh man. That's what we seen first before we seen the face reveal. It was a cane. But anyways, it was just awesome to see Matt Murdock's now in the MCU. You know, from Netflix. Like, what the? All right. So now we got him in the MCU. That's pretty cool. So that happened. And then, okay, let's fast forward to the action scene. So we go to the action scene. The first action scene we see is Doc Ock versus Spider-Man. And Doc Ock actually thinks this is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And obviously, this is not. This is the whole nother universe he's in. So then he started like fighting each other, and then obviously Doc Ock had the better hand, and he was about to kill Peter until he realized that's not Peter. And he was like, what? That's not Peter. What the heck? Who is this? And then obviously Spider-Man got the better hand of him in that split moment because the nanotech went into the machine of the octopus, and now Peter takes control of his machines now. So that happened, and then we seen Green Goblin on top of the highway shooting bombs, or throwing them, I guess you could say. And then out of nowhere, Peter just teleported. Doctor Strange said they opened a portal when they were trying to cast a spell of trying to erase everyone's mind of everyone knowing who is Spider-Man. So now it's a whole multiverse because Spider-Man kind of ruined it when he kept on talking to Doctor Strange about the spell, like of who wants to not be forgotten. So he's like, all right, this is too much. So now we gotta fix it. So now Spider-Man's job is to fix it and send all the villains from other multiverses back into Doctor Strange's lair of, he has a jail cell. So Doctor Strange gave him a device to shoot anyone that's, you know, that is not from this universe, and as soon as he shoots him, it'll teleport that villain back to Doctor Strange's lair. So first, fast forward again. So now Spider-Man's gonna go fight against Electro, but as soon as Electro's about to strike Spider-Man, Sandman out of nowhere made a barrier and covered Spider-Man so he doesn't get hit. And so Sandman said, "Do you remember me?" I said, "Do you remember me from the building?" I think it was from Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That's why, and Tom was like, I don't know you, that's probably a different Spider-Man that you're talking to, but let's take down Electro first and then we'll talk later. As soon as they did that, they took down Electro. As soon as they took down Electro, Spider-Man used the weapon that Doctor Strange had, shot him, and teleported him to Doctor Strange's lair, and it was like a jail cell. And then Sandman got mad. He's, "Oh, why'd you do that? Did you kill him?" And then Spider-Man uses the weapon again, shot him as well. And he gets teleported as well too. So that happened. So let's fast forward. So we count all the freaking villains. Let's just fast forward all the way. And it was pretty cool. So Spider-Man talking to Doctor Strange is like, "All right, I caught them all." And Doctor Strange is good. So now I'm about to send them back to the universes. And then as soon as they're like, you keep on talking, the villains are saying, "So what? We're just gonna die?" Because I guess in their universe they all die. He's like, and that's their fate against Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's saying, like, "No, that's not the right way. We should not send them back, because if we send them back, they're all gonna die." And you know how Spider-Man is. He's always caregiving. He's always gonna be like, I just want to help everybody. Even if it's a villain, he always wants to help. So that happened, and then Doctor Strange said, "Sorry, kid, can't do anything about it." And then Spider-Man said, "I'm sorry too." So he took the device that it was a square box that Doctor Strange had to press a button to send them back to the universe, and they'll probably die. So Spider-Man's trying to take the box, and then they have a fight scene themselves, Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man. So now they're fighting for the box. Doctor Strange wants to put them back to the universes, and obviously they'll die by themselves because he said, "So be it. They die, they die." I was like, dang, the way you said it sounded like Drago. I was like, okay. And so Spider-Man's doing that, and he obviously got the better of Doctor Strange, took the box and a device to create a portal so you can go back to the other dimension, because they were in the mirror dimension, I think it was what it's called, but I forgot what it was called, but forgive me. But anyways, as soon as I did that, he released all the villains, and he went back to his place to try to find a cure for each of the villains of what they got. Obviously, what Doc Ock had, he had a chip that was messed up in the back of his neck. So when that was messed up, he's not in control of the machines no more. The machines are in control of him. So Spider-Man and Osborn are trying to create a like a better I forgot what it's called, but we were gonna call it a chip in his lab. So we're trying to fix a chip for Doc Ock. As soon as they did that, they fixed it and they took out the bad chip and put in the new chip. And Doc Ock finally came to his senses. Now he's a good guy now, because now he's not like rage and not always like trying to kill someone, you know. So now he has a good heart, because now his chip's back together. So as soon as that happened, Peter had a weird spidey sense, and he was walking through the room. Remember, all the villains are in his house. You got you got you got Sandman, you got freaking Electro, you got Green Goblin, and you got Doc Ock, all in his room. All in his room with Aunt May and Spider-Man. Those are the two who are in there. So that happened, and Spider-Man started sensing the room. He's like, wait. His spidey senses were tingling, but he was looking at everyone. He looked at Doc Ock, nothing. And freaking Doc Ock was like, what are you looking at? Then Peter was looking at Electro, nothing. Looking at Sandman, nothing. Then he looked at Norman Osborn. He had a weapon in his hand, and because he was acting like a good guy, Green Goblin, the whole time. He was trying to, like, you know, obviously be sneaky and then probably kill Spider-Man right behind his back. He's, alright, you caught me. Alright, so now, friggin', he said, we cannot be cured. This is a gift. We could be gods. That's what Green Goblin said. And now then he's inspiring Electro and Sandman. But freaking Doc Ock's like, no, this is not the right way. Because remember, now Doc Ock is a good guy because he has the chip now. And as soon as that happened, freaking big explosions. Now we have a fight scene of Peter versus Green Goblin. Oh, man, dude, this was the coolest fight scene ever. The reason why I say that is because when they were fighting, Green Goblin's like beating the shit out of freaking Peter. And then I know where then Peter started beating the crap out of him. And while he was, this is the most brutal I ever seen Tom Holland freaking be as Spider-Man. And it was so cool just to see that. So while they're going through buildings, and there was a moment where Spider-Man was holding Green Goblin, and he was like punching him in the face hard and just multiple swings, but Green Goblin just smiling like while getting punched. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? This guy's insane. And it gave me that vibe of like the Joker, and I was like, that's what it reminds me of. But Green Goblin was doing that, you know, at the time when he first made his film, and it was just so awesome, just creepy. He's like, because Spider-Man never fought an opponent like this, just like menacingly, just insane, and it was just so cool. And then there was times where there was the double team with Lizard and Green Goblin, and then Green Goblin just beating the crap out of Peter. And as soon as Peter went all the way to the main floor, and Green Goblin's choking him. While he's choking him, Peter's literally about to die. Aunt May comes to go save Peter. And as soon as he saves Peter, freaking the board, I forgot what it's called, the hoverboard of Green Goblin flew right by Aunt May, and it was like a quick scene though. So it looked like it decapitated her, but I guess it didn't. But Peter's on the ground, Green Goblin's on his hoverboard. He's all right. Hope you enjoy this, and he grabbed a grenade bomb and threw it at Aunt May. And as soon as he did that, Peter went for it. He dove for the bomb and tried to throw it away, but obviously the impact was too close, and it kind of almost got both of them. So now the Green Goblin's out, all the villains are gone, and now Peter and Aunt May are in the building that they fought at. So when that happened, Aunt May got up, went to Peter's like, Peter, are you okay? I'm okay. And Peter started, all right, we just need to get out of here. We just gotta keep moving. And then Peter was like, felt bad because he said, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing to Aunt May? Because when he means that, he means like, as in like saving the villains. Did I do the right thing to keep them alive? And Aunt May said, you did the right thing. what you did is out of kindness of your heart. He said, and then the thing when she said this, with great power comes great responsibility, I was like, uh-oh, don't tell me, Uncle Ben. So I was like, when I mean like that, because I was like, oh man, because I was just thinking about Uncle Ben when he said that. I was like, I don't know why, but anyways, when that happened and she said that, she started collapsing. So she fell to the floor, and Peter was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? You just said you was okay. You just said you was okay. Turns out she was bleeding already. She was losing too much blood, and she just finally just like collapsed. And when that happened, I felt so bad. I was like, oh no, now this is like Tom Holland in this Spider-Verse, his loss. Because every Spider-Man franchise has lost someone with like each of their of their loved ones or like best friends. And now Tom Holland loses Aunt May, and that was the one that obviously he loves the most. So it was a dramatic scene, really sad, and I'm just like, dang man, that's now Peter's not gonna be like almost different, because he lost one of his loved ones. It is really close to him. So let's fast forward. Now Ned and MJ are worried about Peter. Like, man, he hasn't talked to us ever since like the first time we talked to him at Doctor Strange's lair. What's going on? So he said, all right, let's call Peter. So I guess Ned had the device of Doctor Strange where you can form a circle, and it like comes like a portal almost. He said, all right, let's bring back Spider-Man. So this is one of the coolest scenes. So when this happened, so he does a circle. He said, Peter, come here. So he does a circle thing. First Spider-Man that comes up, they're expecting it's Tom Holland. It's not. Turns out it's Andrew Garfield from that Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man. Sorry, excuse me. And I was like, whoa! And it was just funny because they were like, you're not the Spider-Man. So, I'm Spider-Man. He said, show us something how you're Spider-Man. All right. He jumps on the wall and just started hanging. He said, how does that prove us you're Spider-Man? He said, can anyone do this? He said, all right, can you crawl around the wall? He said, I'm not going to crawl around the wall. So they're asking a bunch of questions, and then this Ned's grandma, whoever this woman is, says, can you get that spider web in the corner? And he was like, all right. So he started crawling to the corner and then like grabs the spider web and just like obviously takes care of it. He said, you believe me now? He said, nah man, still it's just weird. So now they're like, all right, let's try to call on Peter again. So he does a circle again. And he's like, all right, Peter, come here. And then it's another person that walks out the portal, and guess who it is? Tobey Maguire it was Tobey Maguire, the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire from the first one. I was like, holy shit! That's my all-time favorite Peter Parker. As soon as he popped up, but okay, the thing is, Andrew Garfield had his whole outfit of Spider-Man, the whole outfit of Spider-Man. But Tobey Maguire, he was just in a regular outfit, just a regular, like, a jacket, a shirt, and pants. He said, "What? You're just a regular man." And then Andrew Garfield had to test him out, so Andrew Garfield shot a web at him, but Peter did a flip and got the best of Andrew. And it makes sense because Tobey's more experienced than Andrew. And he was like, "Oh, okay." So he said, "Why are you not?" And then Ned was like asking, like, "Why are you not dressed up in Spider-Man gear?" And so he said, "It's not like an ID, or it's like me trying to show up or something." I was like, "Oh, that's true." Plus, you gotta think about it. He probably just like, yeah, it's a normal day thing where I'm just like, I'm Spider-Man, and like, I don't have to like show ID or anything. They know who I am. So that happened, and they get to find a chance. Like, where would Peter go to? They were asking questions like, where do you think Peter most, like the most, how do you rephrase this? The place where he loves to go the most, where he feels like, he's at peace. And they say, oh, I know where. So as they get there, Ned and MJ find them. They're like, hey, we got some friends. And it turns out it's like Peter talking to multiple Peters. So obviously Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and they're all together. He said, hey man, I don't really care anymore. I'm about to press this button of this box and kill them all. And Toby and Andrew are talking them out because they're like saying like, hey, this is not the right way. We can do a different situation, do better. And Tom Holland's like, no. He said, you don't even know how it feels, who I lost. And then obviously they started explaining, like, we know exactly how you feel, you know? So they were talking about, like, Uncle Ben, and then that was what Tobey Maguire was talking about, Uncle Ben, how he lost Uncle Ben, and then how Andrew Garfield lost Gwen Stacy. He said, so I know the feeling, so we just don't want you to go through what we went through. It was a terrible place to go to, and you don't need to do it alone. And then they started talking some sense into Tom Holland to do better. But Tom Holland, in the beginning, Tom Holland would just say, I just want to kill him. I want to kill him. He was talking about Green Goblin, and it was just full of rage. And I can understand his point of view because he lost someone that he loved, but now he's getting the change of heart of out of these Spider-Mans because they know, now he knows that they know what he knows of what they went through. So now they're gonna work together and they're gonna have a big fight scene, and this is the coolest fight scene. So they have a fight scene of all three Spider-Mans fighting Electro, Sandman, and Lizard, and it was amazing because just to see Tobey back in his gear, because he obviously got dressed back up. Oh, just to see Tobey, Andrew, and Tom Holland work together and fight, it was one of the best like fighting scenes I seen as a Spider-Man movie. I was like, holy crap, this is so cool. I was like, I would never thought I would ever see this. Like, you know, like me being alive, I was like, what the heck? This is awesome. This is like every Spider-Man fan's dream, just to see multiple Spider-Mans fighting multiple villains and having a good story with cool effects and just an amazing cast. And this is by far my favorite, and it was a good scene. Good fighting scene, especially at the very end where Tom Holland was fighting Green Goblin, and man, it was the most brutal I've seen Tom Holland fighting Green Goblin. Just there was times when Green Goblin was winning, but then at the very end, Tom Holland was beating the shit out of him. And he was about to kill him until he was about to kill him with the hoverboard of Green Goblin. He was about to stab him into the chest, but Tobey got in front of Tom Holland and stopped him and looked at him. He's like, don't do it. And then out of nowhere, as soon as Tobey was stopping Tom Holland to kill Green Goblin stabbed Tobey Maguire. And I was like, no! And then friggin' Andrew Garfield threw some, it was the cure that they made in the lab. So they threw the cure at Tom Holland, and he caught it, and then he shoved it right into Green Goblin's neck. So now, I suppose, but he doesn't have like the powers or the corrupted mind that he used to have. And then Green Goblin came to his senses like, oh God, what did I do? So that's what happened, and now Tobey Maguire is bleeding, and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland saying to Tobey, he's like, you okay? You okay? And he said, Tobey's like, I'm good. I've been stabbed before. I'm okay. I'll get through. So I was like, okay, at least he's fine, even though he got stabbed. So now Doctor Strange is telling Peter that the multiverse is like colliding and I can't stop him. And Toby's like, not Toby, Tom was like, is there any other way to like stop him? Basically, the only way we can stop him if we wipe literally everyone, so no one has to know who Spider-Man is. And Tom Holland's like, you know what? This is all my fault. And if we want to make things right, let's freaking erase everyone's memory. Not only just the people, but all the superhero people, I think, will forget Tom Holland's who is Spider-Man. So now he's gonna basically be alone at that point. So that happened, and Doctor Strange said, "All right, just say your goodbyes, and I'll start doing it." So while he's about to start doing the casting the spell, because the other multiverses were colliding, because there's gonna be more villains than the ones that we had in the film. So that happened, and Spider-Man said to Tobey and Andrew, "Are you guys about to go home?" And I just want to say, I love you guys. I really do. And he gave them both a big hug, and it was really nice. He had a good scene. I loved it. And Tom Holland goes back to Ned and MJ, just saying like, hey man, everything's gonna be okay. I just want to let you guys know I love you guys so much, but this this might be the last time you guys would know who I am, because your memory is gonna get wiped. That's the only way we can do. There's no other way to save this world. So they started breaking down, getting emotional. He said, just don't forget me, please. Get in contact with me again when this happens. And Tom was like, okay, I will. So then they have an emotional scene with MJ and him. They finally gave another kiss, and Spider-Man swing away, and then obviously Doctor Strange cast a spell. Now everyone's memory was wiped out of who was Spider-Man. So that happened. So now Spider-Man is now on his own. He's seen Ned and MJ at a store. So he walks in the store. He had a note he was gonna prepare to say to both of them, but he started looking at them and then started thinking about, like, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea they don't know who I am. Maybe it's a good idea they don't know, like, what I do as, like, in Spider-Man. Because he was hesitating. He's like, should I tell him or should I not? And I was like, I was getting his point of view, like, if I tell him, they might go through the same thing that I went through in the past. So he decided not to tell him. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna let them be. And then he just told both of them, I'll see you guys around. So he goes back to his new place, and now he has a new place because obviously Aunt May has passed. So now I'm assuming this is now his high school days are over. So now I'm guessing this is about to be college now. So now he has his own place, and we cut to a scene where he goes to Aunt May's tombstone, and then Happy came in. He said, how do you know her? And then Tom was like, oh, I knew her through Spider-Man. Because remember, Happy's memory is erased as well. So they just had a good conversation. And now we cut to a scene. Now he lives at his own place now, because now he doesn't live with Aunt May no more, because obviously she passed on. He was listening to a radio, and it was like cops saying, like, oh, there's a crime at this area. So then he gets suited up. And the outfit that he had, it was like the comic book, the old school, like, Spider-Man outfit, and it looked dope and clean. It was like shiny, glistening. I was like, ooh, this look good. And I was like, oh, I want to see more of the suit, but they just showed a glimpse, and he was swinging around, and then obviously he jumped through, like obviously, when the camera zooms in, and then boom, movie was over. But man, I had a good time. Good freaking movie. I hope I get to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back into the MCU. I hope that this is not a one and done. I want this to continue. I just want this to never end. Because like they were still good, because the chemistry between all the Spider-Mans were really good, and I enjoyed the film a lot. So I hope this is not a one and done thing. I hope they come back. I hope. I just hope it doesn't take longer to make the film again, because obviously they're getting to. Well, I say Toby's getting to it, but he still looked good though. He still looked good. So I'm excited for the future of the MCU. Especially I'm excited for the new upcoming film that's coming. I think it's Doctor Strange Madness of the Multiverse or something like that. But I'm excited for that because it's gonna have Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. And they did show the post-credit scene. They showed an evil Doctor Strange, just like What If. That's interesting. I'm excited for it, and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for it. So if you did enjoy my review on this movie, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, post notification, get all my videos up to date. See you in the next video, and peace.